Hello everybody, it is the Amazing Gaming Guy here, and welcome back to our Alpine adventure coaster build in Planet Coaster. Now I am picking up where I left off last time, doing this little banked section over the lake here, and I just wanted to go around and put some larger sleepers all over that banked area, just to make it almost look like a bridge, but not really a bridge. It's like it's a sort of reinforced area, and I got really preoccupied with that pigeon because I've not seen animals in this game before. I didn't realise there were birds and things. It must have been something they added when they released the game, so that preoccupied me for quite a long time. It didn't look like a long time in the time lapse, but it was a long time. So yeah, I added some portcullis gates as well to get some metal meshing there, and then went around with some smaller wood pieces just to add a little connection to these sleepers. And then I went over and I actually put some, these are sort of fences, big wooden fences, and I recolored them to be entirely wood rather than sort of green like they were when they first get spawned, and I put them along the top. And then I wanted to add a sort of access route to this banked area, because rides do have sort of access routes. They have walkways and things in case of an emergency. So I was very keen to have some of these in this ride, just to make it look a little bit more realistic. And I held that up with some iron poles and put some fencing around it as well. Now, to blend this area all together, put some more of the Alpine rocks in, and I really like the way that these rocks look. They're good rocks. These are my favourite rocks so far. So I put them in to sort of make the area look a little bit more jagged and a little bit more mountainous. And I will come back and sort of clear them up soon, because obviously they don't look quite right. And I put in a load of foliage. I did a lot of that this episode. There's some more of it later on. I was really trying to blend this area together, because for quite a long time it's been very blank. I was very keen to make this a complete section of the ride. You know, I've done the bit on the mountain. Now I want to finish this bit around here, and this is quite an important area as well, because it's one of the main viewpoints of the ride from the path. So if you were a person coming into this park and walking around this area, you would see this ride, and this is one of the main places that happens. It's one of the main places that you see it, so it's got to look very grand at this area. You know, really well themed, very in keeping with what the idea of it's meant to be. Then I put some more foliage around. These are like dead creosote bushes. And a couple of live bushes as well to add a little bit of colour, and then obviously lots of alpine trees, spruces, and other carnivorous trees. They will eat you if you go too close. T-Rex trees. So to this, what am I talking about? This tunnel, again, I wanted to put some supports in to make it look like it was purpose built, like somebody has mined out this tunnel for the track to go through it, and then some spotlighting in that tunnel as well. And not all people on YouTube making roller coasters and stuff seem to do lighting. I've noticed they leave it, they focus very much on scenery and stuff, and don't think about how light should play on it when it comes to nighttime, and that's something that I really enjoy looking at. So I'm always very keen to work out how the lighting's going to look when it comes to nighttime. So I went for mostly warm lighting from, sources of light you can see, like lanterns and things, but there were also some hidden cold blue lights just to give some more general illumination so you can see the track when you're going around it. Obviously you don't want that at all points, such as this bit where it's coming down the mountain here. You don't want to be able to see the track there, because you just want to be plunging into the darkness. But certain bits around here you do want to sort of see the woodland around you and the scenery, otherwise it's just a dark ride, isn't it? And that's not really what I'm going for. Now I came up the top here, and this was a failed attempt. I saw some other people on YouTube using these sculptures and things to make ice. I thought, hey, I can put a little bit of ice on top of the mountain, and I couldn't do it. I might come back and try again later, but I gave up on it for that part. But this is quite a cool thing, actually. I decided that because this is sort of mine train gone wrong, it's all falling off the tracks and stuff, I would have another train that's already fallen off the tracks and put it into the lake, just to make you really worried when you're on the ride. And I tried to time some effects with it as well, get some explosions. So there's an explosion in that carriage when the train comes around it. And then also some smoke effects coming from the two different sections of this train, just to make it look like, you know, it's crashed recently. It's not been there for ages. It's literally just come off the rails and you're next. Just to make people really scared. And then I try to blend this area in with some foliage, with some trees and some more Alpine rocks. On a side note, I know this music isn't very Alpine or European. This is much more suitable for like a Expedition Everest sort of thing, but that's the style I'm going for in the ride, so just forgive the slightly wrong culture of music going on here. I like the music, so I put it in. So I'm going around with this sleeper idea again, putting these extra long sleepers around this bend, so I can make this into another sort of banked bridge going over the track. And this is another feature area. I like to call these bits feature areas, where it sort of interacts with the path and with the peeps. So they'll see it go over there. And in this game, one of the coolest things is, you know, when a train goes close to the path and the peeps and stuff, they all cheer, which is wonderful. So I really like to play with that idea that, you know, they're actually going to interact with this ride when they see it. And then I went around finishing it off with some more wood along the bottom, just to tie the sleepers together and make it look like they're not, you know, floating. And then I grabbed the rails again, and I wanted to make them red this time. It's the same sort of red as the tracks, so I thought that would make quite a good colour scheme if I go sort of brown and red. And I made the little bridge for that, just adjusting the ends there, so because it goes down at the ends a little bit. With the curve of the coaster. And then I wanted to sort of frame this bridge with a sort of an entrance and an exit to this bridge section. So that's what you can see me doing right now with some wooden posts. I don't know, it's just sort of an archway for it to start and close this section. I thought it looked nice, so I stuck it in. And then some foliage to tie it all together, make it look like it's not been completely newly built, you know, it's been there a little while. And some bunting, just to tie it into the little fantasy hobbity party theme going on down in the valley here. I think I've done quite a good job at sort of mixing this party theme and stuff with the Alpine. I think that's kind of working, I really like it. Because you've got the sort of the valley down here that you can see in this area, and then the Alpine stuff's, you know, higher up. Yeah, no, I think that works really well. Now I wanted to make this whole area sort of feature track, so I lit up with some directed spotlights. I was lighting up the rocks in the track, just trying to draw your attention to it when it's nighttime, so that you can see the bits of ride that I want you to be able to see. And then I went around and this is sort of closing off that back area, because I don't want you to see that big massive ride behind this area. I wanted to make the little bit where it passes close to the path a feature area, but I didn't want to focus on the lift hill and stuff in this area. You'll be able to see that when you get closer to the ride when you're queuing, but you won't. I don't want you to be able to see it so much from here. It's all about guiding the viewer when you look in and walk around. So some more foliage here, just putting in some plants and a little spiral design. I really like these little spiral designs. I always go for them. I think it just makes the foliage a little bit more interesting, and it's a lot more rough and wild on this side, because this is the more sort of Alpine side. It's going up towards the mountain rather than down the valley towards the party. And that is just about all we have time for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this, give it a like, comment and subscribe if you haven't yet. And on a side note, I've just hit 500 subscribers. Yes! Thank you so much for that. There is a very special video coming out very soon. Hopefully. He says. We'll see if that happens. But yeah. Thank you so much for watching, thank you so much for subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.